So I wanted to show you how I clean my relics, clean my stuff. Now I start with a light-powered pressure washer. It's electric, and it's not overpowering, so it's not going to damage anything. And we're going to clean those up. There's a lot of iron pieces in there and a lot of odds and ends of everything. Clean them up, and then I'll show you another method I use after they're clean, after we get the crud and dirt off. And you'll see how I clean my stuff. So, and we'll preserve them as well too. So, all right, on to the next. Now with my iron relics, I'm not overly interested in getting them back to original condition. That's highly unlikely. But I do want to just clean them up a little bit and get some of that rust off. I don't want it all off, because I still want it to look like I found it, you know? Like it came from the ground. It's a relic. It's not something that's going to be in an antique shop. At least I don't want it in an antique shop. I want it to look like it came straight from the ground still. So I just do a little, try to keep some of the nice rusty appearance of it, at least. We'll protect it. We'll protect it later. Let me just give it a little blast. Okay? So the important part in cleaning relics is not to destroy the antique-y look of it. Do you see that little speck of wood on there? That wood is part of this old handle. I'm leaving that on this knife. And you know, this part right here is just basically getting the crud and dirt off so that I can restore this to a nice condition. Not perfect. We don't want it perfect. My next method will preserve it and actually make it look pretty decent. You'll see. Alright, so on to the next. So I wanted to share that with you. There's no telling how old that is, but one's a Ford key and one's a GM key. So yeah, I mean those are fairly old keys to automobiles. It's interesting to figure out what kind of automobiles they were. All right, so we're nearly finished cleaning. I just make piles of ferrous and non-ferrous. So all right, now I'll show you the next stages. So I find lots of pocket watch stuff, and you see the one to the right still has numbers, and it's still in pretty decent shape, but the one to the left, that's how we usually find them. But with that maker's mark, that manufacturer mark, we can put a date to that, so that's good. Pocket watch, yep, lots of them. So when I'm digging around in the holes, I'm actually looking for more than just the metal object. This is hard to see, but this one little glass piece has lettering on it that says patented February 1912. That is an indication that tells us a date. That gives us an idea of the usage of human activity in an area. This little piece of glass, so it's important. It's trash, but it's important to for the overall aging of these sites and stuff like that. So information. All right. So y'all remember the little pistol, right? Well, we can't go chipping away at that with a hammer. That's just not gonna be good. So we'll take our time with that. Wash it a few times, let it dry out, wash it, and then we'll go in and we'll pick all that off, hit it with a little wire brush, and you know, get it down to some usable, nice appearance metal. So I'll show you what that looks like when we're done. It's not going to be today, maybe a few days. That one's going to take a while. But alright, so we got all our keepers. We have to let that stuff dry, and once it's all dry, then I'll take you to the next process. But I have a batch ready that's already dry, so I'll take you to that process now. Okay, so this next method is one of my favorites. You'll see what I'm talking about here. Check it out. Yeah, it's a fryer. Yep. And it has olive oil in it. And we're going to fry our stuff. Now, it's 400 degrees of hot oil. And there's a few reasons why I do that. Because it preserves and it cleans at the same time. And it's cheap. So I'll show you the process. Hang on. So we have a box full of odds and ends. This stuff has already been cleaned and it's already dry. But now we want to preserve it. We want to put a seal on that that's going to preserve it and make it look nice, right? And also when they're bent, this is the perfect opportunity to straighten stuff because it's 400 degrees. And you know, we can make this stuff look nice. I'll show you. We're going to put all of this in the fryer. This stuff is probably just scrap, but alright, we're waiting for that to heat up, so in just a few minutes. And while we're waiting for that oil to heat up, I wanted to show you this. This is boiled linseed oil. You can buy it at any hardware store, Lowe's, Home Depot. This is what I put on my relics. If they're too big to go in the fryer, even the smaller stuff, as you can see, and it preserves it, like that piece there, preserves it real nice. A lot of this stuff is dusty because I work in here with woodworking too, but it's all sealed. And a lot of that bigger stuff I'm going to just coat with boiled linseed oil. Okay? It's great rust proof. I found that out up in the North Country in New York when I wanted to rust proof a car. That's what you use right there. We're not rust proofing a Rolls Royce, so you know, you call it what it is. Alright. So our oil's beginning to bubble here. Let's go ahead and drop some stuff in. We're going to drop these 2 curry combs. Remember those? We're going to drop this button. We're just going to do a few things right now just to show you. You do not want to put this stuff in when it's wet. Oil and water do not mix. You just let it sit in there for a few minutes and then I'll show you. So, you see what it's doing? You know, it's cleaning it. It's cleaning and preserving. Alright, so when we think it's had enough, you know, we can take a peek at it. Now this is going to be really hot, so I use just a pair of little pliers, get the oil off, just set it down to soak up. Now that has been treated with hot oil. That's how you treat metal. Electrolysis makes them brittle. An oil bath, that's going to strengthen that metal. It's going to preserve it. It's going to coat it. And it's going to look pretty at the same time. Alright, so let's finish up here. So now I'm just going to put in some brass stuff. You remember most of that, I'm sure. And we're just going to fry it. Yeah, clean it up. Cleaning. That agitation, that's cleaning it right there. That is hot. You're not going to ruin it. It's easy, it was in the ground. How are you going to ruin it? And the patina, the green patina, will stay on the object. Back at you. Alright, so I think that's been in there for probably about a good 40 seconds or so. The smaller stuff you don't have to keep in there so long. And you just take it out, nice and easy. And here, if we want to straighten that, we can straighten that. I'm going to put that in the bath again so I could straighten it. But let me just get these out for now. Alright, so back at you. Alright, so to straighten that up, I just put it back in the hot bath. I'm going to pull it out, set it down, set it down bent side up. This is hot. And just give it a nice little tap. It is so hot, it'll bend so easy. And that's about as straight as I want to get it. I still want it to have a nice look, right? That is super hot, so be careful. And that's about as straight as I want it. I want it to look like a relic, not brand new. Alright, so on to the next. Alright, so iron objects. Yes, iron objects too. You just want to make sure they are completely dry. Iron has rust, right? Bubbles and stuff, air pockets. You'll see it start to pop and stuff like that. Look at that nice dark color it gets. It's going to chip away at that. It's going to clean it up, but it's going to strengthen it at the same time. It's not like chipping away at it with a hammer. This is doing it chemically. So I'll let you see that when it comes out. Alright, so I believe they've been in there for 30 seconds or so. Whew! Gets a little smoky. But you don't want to knock all that rust off, because then this just makes the rust part of the metal. It just makes it part of the object.